What happens when good burgers go bad? The results aren't pretty, from mold to discoloration to full-on slime.
What? It's just an ordinary Krabby. Oh my goodness! Squidward!
A Wendy's burger starts with a hot, juicy square patty covered in melty, gooey cheese, mixed with tangy ketchup and creamy mayo. The pickles crowning it add a vinegary zing and a bit of crunch. Crisp, fresh lettuce, tomatoes, and onions on top create the perfect contrast to the heat from the grill. It's all encased in a sweet, soft bun, and it's more than worth the price tag.
You know how you want it, hot off the grill.
While Wendy's burgers were the most delicious when eaten right away, they're also the grossest after spending 10 days in a plastic bag in a dark cupboard. The same veggies that gave this sandwich crunch and flavor when it was fresh created perfect conditions for mold to grow a few days later. The first signs of decay only appeared on day 6, when green spots showed up on the tomato. By day 8, there was a light dusting of mold over the top bun. On day 10, the burger was thoroughly covered with fuzzy growth. The quality of a McDonald's regular hamburger isn't high to begin with. You get what you pay for, and this sandwich only costs around $2, which is much cheaper than most of the competition. Bite in just seconds after the employee hands it over to you, and the meat patty will probably already seem chewy and overdone. Although toasted, the bun isn't fluffy or crisp. It's an underwhelming experience, but at least the Golden Arches serves its burgers nice and hot. The McDonald's hamburger is the least appetizing when fresh. After spending a few days outside of the fridge, hidden away in a dark corner, it still looked artificial and didn't show many obvious signs of spoilage at all. But the patty looked discolored, and the pickles had drooped and shriveled. Some people might point to preservatives used by the chain, but according to McDonald's website, the restaurant's patties only contain beef, salt, and pepper. Why these burgers don't visibly spoil quickly is a mystery. Bite into a fresh Burger King sandwich and it's something like an explosion. The chain puts plenty of sauces on its burgers, so when you sink your teeth in, you'll experience a strong and sudden mixture of ketchup, mustard, and pickle. It's so intense that you can barely taste the beef patty tucked into the pleasantly sweet, fluffy bun. The temperature is usually perfect, not hot enough to burn you, but rather pleasingly toasty. You get great value for the price. Now, take a burger that's been left out for around 10 days and compare it to a fresh one. You'll see that they look almost identical, except that the bun of the older sandwich has contracted a bit and lost its fluff. But you'll also notice the acrid, putrid smell. Also, the bun is doughy and difficult to peel off the patty. The mold-free state of this burger patty is not because of preservatives. The chain's website says these are additive-free and even released a commercial featuring their own moldy burgers. It's harder to know what goes in the bun since the website doesn't provide a current ingredient list. As soon as you get your hands on an Arby's burger, rip the foil wrapping off and dig in. This sandwich comes fully decked out with lettuce, tomato, onions, cheese, pickles, and Arby's sauce. The beef patty is seared on the outside but buttery within. The only problem with the burger is it's not as hot as it could be. All of the cold toppings cool down the sandwich a bit before it reaches the customer. That makes rapid consumption of the sandwich even more imperative, so it doesn't lose any more heat. Arby's burger was the first sandwich to show signs of spoilage. Over 10 days, the burger from Arby's grew a beard of feathery white mold. Fungi love moisture, and the veggies here have a lot. Similar to other chains, patties from Arby's contain just beef. The buns use dough conditioners and food coloring, but nothing that could be considered a preservative. An Arby's burger covered in mold is a tragic sight. Fresh, this sandwich is succulent. Seeing it spoil is heartbreaking. So if you're headed to Arby's, buy only what you're planning to eat right away, because these burgers are too good to let go bad.
Oh,
He ate it!
People will eat anything!
When you unwrap your Rally's or Checkers All-American cheeseburger, you'll notice that it's shiny from the grease coating it. Take a bite and this piping hot little burger with cheese tastes tremendous, especially if you consider that it's usually cheaper than most other fast food burgers. There's no crunch to this burger, but the soft beef and cheese are satisfying on their own. But don't wait too long. The cheese on a Checkers or Rally's burger gets pretty gross after 10 days, even if the rest of the sandwich shows few signs of age. The bread looks pillowy soft and the edges of the patty poke out, the same brown color as always. The cheese, though, turns into a slimy, smelly, liquid substance. It's not clear if Rally's or Checkers puts preservatives or additives in its buns and burgers.
I got buns! Who wants to see my buns?
The chain's website provides nutrition facts, but no ingredient list. Whether or not there are preservatives in this sandwich, it's clearly unfit to eat after 10 days.
You've been eating that thing for a week. I think the mayonnaise is starting to turn.
2 more feet and I can fit it in the fridge.
Chances are you're not going to leave your hamburger in a cabinet for 10 days, but keep a burger in the fridge for 10 days and it still looks pretty fresh. And if you open those baggies and take a whiff, you won't smell anything off-putting. You might think a quick spin in the microwave would get them ready for lunch. Their appearance is deceptive. The USDA's Food Safety and Inspection Service recommends leaving cooked ground meat products in the refrigerator for just 4 days. At 10 days, these burgers have been around for more than twice the amount of time they should have. This is a great argument for labeling leftovers. They may look safe to eat for far longer than they actually are, and it's easy to forget how long you left them there. Another alternative is sticking any uneaten burgers in the freezer, where they'll remain edible for around 4 months. Of course, whether or not you enjoy eating a frozen, thawed, and reheated burger can only be determined by trying it. You'll likely get better results if you remove any veggies on the burger before freezing or refrigerating.
Here you are, sir. 1 Krabby Patty.
There's a difference between an unappetizing hamburger and a dangerous one. If you've left burgers out on the counter for your family to grab throughout the evening, they won't be as delicious as if everyone had eaten them straight off the grill. That's not necessarily a problem. The real problem is that those burgers on the counter could give everyone food poisoning if they remain unrefrigerated for too long.
We got food poisoning, Tom. How do you not have food poisoning?
According to the U.S. Food Safety and Inspection Service, perishable food of any kind can only remain at room temperature for 2 hours. Any longer, and it's no longer safe to eat because the conditions are prime for pathogens to prosper. So if you pick up your burgers at 5:30, drive home 30 minutes, and set them on the counter, you'll need to stick them in the fridge before 7:30 to stay safe. If the ambient temperature is above 90 degrees, refrigerate your sandwiches before an hour is up if you want to avoid getting sick. After that, get rid of them.